It is 4 in the morning. Your eyes are open. You are staring at the ceiling, but you are not seeing it. You are seeing a list. Unpaid bills. The car payment. The feeling that you are falling behind in a race you do not remember signing up for. You check your phone. The blue light hits your face. An email from your boss. A picture of a perfect vacation from someone you knew in high school. And you feel that cold, heavy weight in your stomach. The feeling that you are working as hard as you can, but you are still stuck. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about that feeling. We are going to turn the lights on and look at it, together. We are going to talk about the one subject that rules our lives, but that we are told is rude to talk about. We are going to talk about money. But more importantly, we are going to talk about what we think money will get us. We are going to talk about happiness. For our entire lives, we have been given a script. Go to school, get a good job, earn a high salary, buy a house. We are told that if we follow this script, we will be happy. We will be successful. We will be safe. So we run. We chase the bigger paycheck. We chase the promotion. We work late nights. We sacrifice our time, our health, and sometimes our relationships, all in the pursuit of a number in a bank account. But here is the big question. If this script is correct, why are so many people who have done it all still unhappy? Why do we meet people who have reached the top of the ladder, only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall? It is because we have been confused about one critical thing. We have confused the tool with the goal. Money is not the goal. Money is a tool. It is a powerful tool, yes. It is a necessary tool, absolutely. But it is just a tool. It is like a hammer. You would never say your life's goal is to own a hammer. Your goal is to build a house. Money is the same. It is a tool to help you build a life. The real goal, the true destination, is happiness. But not just the simple happiness of buying a new shirt. We will talk about the 3 levels of happiness. The happiness of survival, having your needs met. The happiness of the self, having great experiences and freedom. And the highest level, the happiness of giving, having a purpose bigger than yourself. This is where we get into trouble. We are taught how to earn money. But no one ever teaches us how to use money to actually buy happiness. It is a skill, and it is a skill most of us were never taught. We become masters at earning, but we remain amateurs at living. We fall into a trap. I call it the paper collector trap. This is the person who spends their whole life collecting money, but they are too afraid, or they do not know how, to ever use it. They have a bank full of paper, but an empty life. Today, we are going to break that cycle. We are not just talking about budgets or investing. We are talking about the psychology of wealth. We will learn why we earn. We will learn how to turn what we earn into a life we truly want to live. Because this is serious, let me pause. Before the day rushes in, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Only if you truly enjoy what I am doing here. And in the comments, write your location, your time zone, and the time right now. This morning. Now open the curtains and let the light in. Pour a glass of water. Maybe brew a coffee or tea. Set your phone to Do Not Disturb and take one deep breath. Let's begin our journey this morning. Chapter 1. The Forgotten Question. Why do we earn money? That sound, the alarm. It is Monday morning. It is dark outside. And for a moment, just 1 second, you do not know where you are. And then it all rushes back. The job, the commute, the meetings, the list of things that were due last week. You hit the snooze button. You get 9 more minutes of escape. But it always comes. That feeling in your stomach. That heavy feeling. You drag yourself out of bed, go through the motions, the coffee, the shower, the traffic. You sit in your car, in a long line of other cars, full of other people, all doing the exact same thing. You get to the office, you sit at a desk, you look at a screen, you do this for 8 hours, or 9, or 10. You get back in the car. You sit in traffic again. You get home. You are tired. You eat something, watch something to numb your mind, and you go to sleep. And you do it all over again on Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. We call this the grind. We even say it with a little bit of pride. We tell ourselves that this is what it means to be a responsible adult. This is what it means to be successful. We do this for 5 days, so we can have 2 days of freedom. We live for the weekend. We live for that short vacation once a year. We live for the day we can finally retire, maybe 30 or 40 years from now, and finally start living. This is the system. This is the program. This is the autopilot we were talking about in the introduction. And most of us are running this program every single day of our lives. But did you ever stop to ask who wrote this program? It was not you. This program was given to us. We got it from our parents, who got it from their parents. We got it from our teachers. We got it from society. We see it in movies. We hear it in songs. The program is a script, and the script says, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a safe, high-paying job, climb the ladder, buy a house, buy a nice car, find a partner, have kids, work hard, work harder, retire. That is the script. And we are told that if we follow this script, we will be happy. So we put our heads down and we run. We focus all of our energy on how to win this game, how to get the better grade, how to get into the better school, how to get the better job title, how to get the 10% raise, how to get the corner office. Our entire education system is built to teach us how. Our corporate training is all about how. We read books on how to be more productive. We listen to podcasts on how to be a better leader. Our lives become one long, endless pursuit of how. And in the middle of all this how, the why gets lost. We forget to ask the most important question of all, the question that is so big and so simple that we are actually afraid to ask it. Why? Why do we do any of this? Why are we in this race? What is the real prize? We tell ourselves it is to pay the bills. We tell ourselves it is to provide for my family. And those are good, noble things. But is that it? Is the grand, beautiful, chaotic miracle of your one life on this planet just about paying a mortgage? Is that all there is? We push the question away. We are too busy. We do not have time for philosophy. We have a deadline. We have a performance review. We tell ourselves we will think about why later. We will think about it on vacation. We will think about it when we retire. But later becomes never, and that is the trap. This is the rat race. A rat race is not just about being busy. It is about running on a wheel. You can run faster. You can run so fast that you are sweating and your heart is pounding. But you look around, and you are in the exact same spot. You are not going anywhere. You get that big promotion. You get a 30% raise. You are a success. So what do? You buy a bigger house. You buy a faster car. Your monthly payments go up. Your stress goes up. And now, you cannot quit. You are trapped. You are running faster, but the wheel is just spinning faster, too. This is the emptiness. This is that cold feeling at 4 in the morning. It is the feeling that you have done everything right, but something still feels wrong. You are winning the game, but you are starting to suspect the game itself is broken. You are achieving success, but you are not finding fulfillment. This chapter, this conversation, this is a pattern interrupt. It is a loving, respectful hand on your shoulder, asking you to pause, just for a moment, to stop running, to step off the wheel, to catch your breath, and to ask the forgotten question. Why do I really want money? What am I truly chasing? If you had $1 million, what would you do? No, not the buy an island answer. What would really change? You might say, I would be free, or I would be safe, or I would finally be able to relax, or I would be happy. There it is. That is the real answer. We do not want money. We want the feeling we think money will buy. We do not want the fancy car. We want the feeling of respect or admiration. We do not want the $1 million house. We want the feeling of safety and security. We do not want the ability to buy anything. We want the feeling of freedom, safety, respect, freedom, peace, love, happiness. These are the real goals. Money is just the tool we use to get there. But here's the problem. We have become obsessed with the tool, and we have completely forgotten the goal. We are like carpenters who spend their whole lives collecting hammers. We have thousands of them. We have the best, shiniest, most expensive hammers, and we show them off to other carpenters. But we never, ever actually build a house. This book is about building the house. To do that, we must stop and redefine what we are doing. We must ask the forgotten question and answer it honestly. We are not just earning a living. We are trying to build a life. And the very first step in building a life is to have a blueprint. You cannot build a house if you do not know what it looks like. You cannot go on a journey if you do not have a destination. We have all agreed that our destination, in one way or another, is happiness. But that is a very vague word. What is happiness? If we are going to use money as the tool to get it, we need a much clearer definition. We need to make it real, tangible, and achievable. That is what we are going to do in the next chapter. We are going to stop treating happiness as some magical, unknowable thing. We are going to break it down into 3 clear, simple levels. We're going to create our blueprint. But for now, just sit with that question. Why are you doing what you are doing? What is your why? Be honest. You do not have to share it with anyone, but you have to be honest with yourself. Because you cannot find the answer until you are willing to ask the question. Chapter 2. The Ultimate Goal. The 3 Levels of Happiness. In the last chapter, we did something very important. We hit the pause button on the entire system. We stopped running on the wheel, looked around, and asked the forgotten question. Why? Why are we doing all of this? And we found the answer. It was simple, but it was hidden. We are not chasing money. We are chasing the feeling we believe money will give us. We are chasing security. We are chasing freedom. We are chasing peace of mind. We are chasing happiness. That is a great answer, it feels true, but it also creates a new problem. Happiness is a very vague word. It is big and fluffy. It means something different to everyone. And if your life's goal is a word you cannot clearly define, you will never know if you have achieved it. You will spend your whole life chasing a ghost. You cannot build a house if you do not have a blueprint. You cannot drive to a new city if you do not have a destination on the map. We need to stop treating happiness like some magic, unknowable cloud. We need to make it real. We need to make it solid. We need to build a blueprint for it. I believe happiness is not just one thing. It is a journey that happens in stages or levels, and understanding these levels is the key to understanding how money really works in our lives. Let's call them the 3 levels of happiness. First, there is level 1, the happiness of survival. This is the foundation. This is the ground floor of our house. This level is not about being rich. It is about not being poor. It is the deep, quiet, primal sense of peace that comes from knowing your basic human needs are met. It is the food in your refrigerator. It is the roof over your head. It is the ability to turn on the heat when it is cold. It is the ability to go to a doctor when you are sick or when your child is sick, without fearing that it will destroy you financially. Before you have this level secured, it is all you can think about. It is impossible to dream about your life's purpose when you are terrified about how you are going to pay the rent next month. It is that cold, 4 a.m. panic we talked about. At this level, money is not a luxury. It is not for fun. Money is a tool for survival. It buys you safety. It buys you health. Most importantly, it buys you the mental space to even think about your future. It buys you the ability to take a deep breath. Many people spend their entire lives stuck on this level, and our first goal must be to use money to build this foundation, solid and strong. Once that foundation is built, you can move up. Welcome to level 2, the happiness of the self. This is the level most people think of when they dream of being happy. Once your survival is no longer a daily question, you can start focusing on your personal, individual life. This is the happiness that comes from your experiences, your freedom, and your growth. This is the happiness of experience. Think about it. What are your best memories? They are probably not about the things you bought. They are about the experiences you had. Traveling to a new place you have only seen in pictures. Learning a new skill, like playing the guitar or cooking a new dish. It is the joy of taking your family on a real vacation and watching them laugh, free from the stress of everyday life. These are the memories that make a life rich. Money is the tool that makes these experiences possible. This level is also the happiness of freedom. This is one of the most powerful things money can buy. It is the freedom to buy back your time. It is paying for a service that saves you 2 hours a week, so you can spend those 2 hours with your children, or at the gym, or just reading a book. It is the freedom to say no to a project that would crush your spirit. It is the freedom to leave a job that is destroying your health, because you have enough savings to be okay for a few months while you find a new one. That is real power. And finally, this level is the happiness of self-worth. It is achieving a difficult goal. It is building a skill. It is having the resources to take care of the people you love in a moment of crisis. This level is deep. It is personal. And for many people, Living a full, rich life at level 2 is a beautiful and complete goal. It is a wonderful, fulfilling place to be. But sometimes, after many years, even this can start to feel like it is not the whole story. You have traveled, you are free, you are comfortable, and you start to feel a little whisper inside you that asks, "Is that all there is?" This is the call to the next level. Level 3, the happiness of giving. This is the highest level. This is the most profound, most lasting form of happiness. This is the joy you find when you move your focus from me to we. This is the happiness you discover when you contribute to something that is bigger than yourself. Now, this is not just about writing a check to a charity, although that can be part of it. This is about purpose. It is the fulfillment that comes from creating value for others. It is the happiness a great teacher feels when they see a former student succeed in the world. It is the happiness an entrepreneur feels when they build a company that solves a real problem for people and creates good jobs for their community. It is the happiness a volunteer feels when they give their time to a local food bank, or a mentor who guides a young person. At this level, you are not trying to get happiness anymore. You are creating it. And in that process, you become deeply fulfilled. This is about your legacy. It is about making a positive mark on the world, even in a small way. It is the feeling that your life mattered, that you made a difference. So there it is, the 3 levels of happiness: survival, self, and giving. This is our blueprint. This is the house that we are trying to build. Now, all of a sudden, money is not a scary, complicated, or emotional subject. It is just a tool. It is the raw material. And now we know exactly what we are trying to build with it. When you look at money this way, all the question about it gets simpler. The question is no longer, how do I get rich? The question is, how much money do I need to make my level 1 secure? Then, how can I use money to build my level 2 life of freedom and experience? And finally, how can I use my resources to contribute to level 3? Now that we have our blueprint, we are ready for the next step. We have to go to the hardware store. We have to understand the tool itself. What is this thing called money? We have to strip away all the myths and emotions and see it for what it truly is. That is what we will do in the next chapter. Chapter 3. What is money? Redefining the tool. Let's do an exercise. Take a second and just say the word. Money. How does it feel? For most people, that one word is heavy. It is loaded. It lands in the room with a thud. Just hearing it can make your shoulders tighten. It can make your stomach clench. It brings up feelings of stress, anxiety, maybe even shame. For others, it brings up feelings of excitement, greed, or power. It is almost never a neutral word. And why is that? It is because we have been taught so many confusing and powerful things about it. From one side, we are told that money is the root of all evil. We hear that you cannot serve God and money. We are told that rich people are greedy, that they are selfish, and that wanting to have a lot of money makes you a bad, shallow person. We are taught to feel guilty for wanting it. And then, from the other side, we are told the exact opposite. We are told that money is the answer to everything. We see it in movies, on social media, everywhere. We are told that if you just had more money, all your problems would vanish. You would be happy. You would be safe. You would be attractive. You would be free. So which one is it? Is money a poison that corrupts us? Or is it a magic wand that saves us? We are caught between this guilt and this desire, and it makes us crazy. Today, I want to propose a new idea, a radical idea. What if money is neither? What if money is not good and it is not bad? What if money is just a tool? That is it. It is not a magical force. It is not a measure of your worth as a human being. It is not a moral scorecard. It is a tool. It is an invention. Think about it. Thousands of years ago, we had a problem. If you were a fisherman, you had fish, but you needed a pair of shoes, so you had to go find a shoemaker who just so happened to need fish right now. This was called barter, and it was very inefficient, so we invented a technology to fix this. We, as a society, agreed that certain things had value. We agreed that this rare shell, or this shiny piece of metal, or eventually this piece of paper with a special number on it, would represent value. Money is not value. Money is a system for storing and exchanging value. Money is just a piece of technology. The best way to understand this is with an analogy. Money is like a hammer. A hammer is just a tool. It is a piece of wood and a piece in metal. Is a hammer good or is a hammer evil? The question is ridiculous. A hammer is neutral. In the hands of a skilled carpenter, that hammer can be used to build a beautiful home, a home that keeps a family safe and warm for 30 years. That is a wonderful, positive, moral thing. In the hands of an angry or violent person, that same hammer can be used to break down a door, to destroy property, or to hurt someone. That is a terrible, destructive, negative thing. But in both of those situations, the hammer did not change. The hammer was the same. It was the intent of the person holding it that mattered. Money is exactly the same. It is a neutral tool. What it does in the world depends entirely on the person who uses it. I want you to think of money as a neutral amplifier. This is one of the most important concepts you will ever learn about finance. Money does not change who you are. It just makes you more of what you already are. It turns up the volume on your existing personality. If you are a kind, generous, and caring person at your core, and you suddenly get a lot of money, you will not magically become a terrible human being. It is the opposite. You will become a more generous person. You will be able to take care of your family. You will be able to give to your community. You will be able to support the causes you believe in on a massive scale. The money just amplifies your kindness. But if you are an insecure, selfish, or angry person, money will not fix you. It will not heal your problems. It will just make you a more powerful, insecure person. It will amplify those negative traits. It will give you more resources to be selfish. This is why we see people who get rich and become incredible philanthropists. And it is why we see other people who get rich and seem to become monsters. The money did not change them. It just revealed them. It amplified what was already there. Why is this idea so important? Because when you truly deeply accept that money is a neutral tool, it loses all of its emotional power over you. It stops being this terrifying, all-powerful monster under your bed. It stops being this magical savior you are praying for. You take away its control. Think about electricity. You are probably not afraid of electricity. You do not worship it. You do not think electricity is evil or good. You just respect it. You understand that it is a powerful, neutral force. You learn its rules. You know that if you follow the rules, it will light your home, cook your food, and power your life. You know that if you are careless, you can get badly hurt. You treat it as a tool. We must learn to see money in the exact same way. We must stop serving it, fearing it, and worshiping it. We must stop tying it to our self-worth. When you do this, you are no longer a slave to money. You become its master. You are the carpenter. Money is the hammer. You are not obsessed with the hammer. You are obsessed with the house you are going to build. The house, as we said, is your happy life. This intellectual separation, seeing money as a simple, boring tool, is the first step to financial mastery. Now that we have our blueprint, the 3 levels of happiness, and we understand our tool, money, we need to learn how to get the tool. We have to talk about earning it. But we are not going to talk about it in the way you are used to. Just as we redefined money, we are about to redefine what it actually means to earn it. That is in the next chapter. Chapter 4. The nature of earning. Creating value. For most of our lives, we are taught a very simple formula for money. It is the first formula we ever learn. Time equals money. You get your first job. You are paid $8 an hour to scoop ice cream or to mow a lawn. The lesson is clear. For 1 hour of your time, you get $8. If you want $16, you must give 2 hours. The only way to earn more is to give more time. Then, you get your first real job. It is a salary. Maybe it is $50,000 per year. This seems different, but it is the exact same formula, just hidden. The company has bought your time. They own your 40 or maybe 50 hours per week. They have just paid for it in one big yearly bundle. We get so used to this formula, time equals money, that we believe it is a law of nature. We believe it is the only way the world works. And I am here to tell you that this formula is a trap. It is the formula for the grind. It is the formula for the rat race. Because if time is all you have to sell, you will always run out. There are only 24 hours in a day. You cannot work more than that. This formula puts a hard, permanent ceiling on your life. Today, we are going to break that formula. We are going to replace it with the true formula for earning. Here's the secret. You are not paid for your time. You are also not paid for your effort. This is a hard one to accept. We feel like we should be paid for effort. If you spend all day digging a ditch in the hot sun, you work very hard. You are exhausted. You are sweating. Your muscles ache. You deserve to be paid a lot for that, right? But what if you were digging that ditch in the wrong place? What if your boss comes out and says, "Why did you dig here? The plan said to dig over there." All of your sweat, all of your hard work, all of your effort created nothing. In fact, it created a new problem. Now someone has to fill that hole back in. Your effort was high, but your value was 0. You are not paid for your time, and you are not paid for your effort. You are paid for one thing and one thing only. You are paid for the value you create. That is it. That is the entire secret. It is the shift from time-based thinking to value-based thinking. What is value? Value is solving a problem for someone. Value is meeting a need. Value is making someone's life easier or better or more efficient or more entertaining. The amount you are paid is a direct reflection of the size of the problem you solve. Let's look at a simple example. Let's compare 2 jobs that both involve driving. First, let's think about a taxi driver in a big city. This is a very hard job. He works long hours, maybe 10 or 12 hours a day. He deals with stress, with traffic, with difficult passengers. He is working hard. His effort is high. What value does he create? He creates a great value. He solves the problem of, I am here and I need to get there. He takes one person or one family from point A to point B. It is a valuable service. Now, let's think about an airline pilot. The pilot flies maybe 2 or 3 times a week. She is responsible for a very complex, very expensive machine. What value does she create? She also solves the problem of, I am here and I need to get there. But the scale is completely different. She takes 200 people at one time from New York to Los Angeles. She does it in 5 hours. She is not working harder than the taxi driver in terms of sweat or hours. But the value she creates is enormous. She is solving a much bigger, more complex problem. She is moving 200 people across a continent. The magnitude of the value is higher. Therefore, her pay is higher. This has nothing to do with who is a better person. It has nothing to do with who works harder. It is just a simple, neutral math equation about the size of the value created. Let's look at one more example that drives people crazy. A famous movie star gets paid $10 million to be in a new movie. Or even crazier, a famous actor gets paid $1 million to show up for one day and film a 30-second commercial for a coffee brand. We hear this and we say, "That is not fair. I work hard all year for $50,000. That actor worked for one day." We are trapped in the time equals money formula. We think the actor was paid for one day of work. The company did not pay for the actor's time. They paid for the value of his fame. The company knows that when they put this actor's face in their commercial, millions of people will stop and watch. They know that his reputation will make people trust the coffee. They have done the math. They know that this one commercial will probably sell them $100 million worth of coffee. So, is it worth it for them to pay the actor $1 million? If it makes them $100 million? Yes, it is a fantastic deal. The actor created an insane amount of commercial value. The actor is not being paid for time. The actor is being paid for value. This is the central mindset shift of all wealth creation. You must stop asking, how many hours can I work? You must start asking, how much value can I create? This changes everything. If you are an employee, you stop thinking, I just need to show up for 8 hours. You start thinking, what is the biggest problem I can solve for my boss? How can I save this company the most money? How can I help us get more customers? When you go to ask for a raise, you do not say, I have been here for 1 more year. You say, this year I brought in 3 new clients that made the company $100,000. I created a new system that saved the customer service team 20 hours a week. I created value. You are no longer a time seller. You are a value creator. This is the key. This is how you break the ceiling. You can always find ways to create more value. This leads to the next big question. If earning is all about creating value, what are the ways to do it? It turns out there are clear, simple formulas for creating value, just like there are formulas in math. You do not have to guess. There are 2 main paths. You can either create a little bit of value for a lot of people, or you can create a huge amount of value for a few people. In the next chapter, we are going to explore those two formulas. Chapter 5. The Formulas for Value Creation. In the last chapter, we tore down the old, broken formula. We threw it out. The idea that time equals money is not a law. It is a trap. We replaced it with the one true formula for earning. You are not paid for your time. You are paid for the value you create. This is a huge aha moment. It is like a light bulb turning on in a dark room. Suddenly, everything makes sense. You understand why a pilot is paid more than a taxi driver. You understand why a movie star can be paid $1 million for one day of work. It is all about the size of the value. But this new idea also leads to a new question. It is a big one. It is the practical question. Okay, you might be thinking, I get it. Create value. But how? That still sounds big and abstract. What do I actually do? This is the best part. It is not a mystery. It is not a secret that is only kept for the rich. It is a choice. It turns out there are two main paths, two clear, proven formulas for creating massive value in the world. You do not have to guess. You just have to understand the two formulas and then decide which one is right for you. Let's call them the Go Wide formula and the Go Deep formula. First, let's talk about Formula 1. Go wide. This is also called the scale lever. The formula looks like this. You create a small amount of value, but you deliver it to a massive number of people. Let's break that down. The value you provide to each individual person is not that big. It is not life-changing. It is a small convenience, a small moment of joy, a small problem solved. But you are able to give that small piece of value to millions of people. The math is simple. A little bit of value multiplied by a lot of people equals a lot of money. The world is full of examples. Think about the person who invented a simple game app for your phone, the one you play for 2 or 3 minutes when you are waiting in line. That app, maybe it costs $1. Or maybe it is free, but it shows you a small ad. The value you get is tiny. It's a few minutes of distraction. But if 10 million people download that app, the creator has built a fortune. They went wide. Think about a YouTuber who makes funny cat videos. The value you get is a 30-second laugh. It is a tiny, tiny piece of value. But that video gets seen by 50 million people. The ad revenue from that one video can be huge. That creator went wide. Think about the company that makes your favorite candy bar. That chocolate bar costs you $1.50. It gives you about 2 minutes of pleasure. The value is small, but they sell 100 million of those candy bars every single year. They went wide. This path, the Go Wide path, is all about scale. It is about being accessible. It is about reaching as many people as possible. The internet has made this formula more possible for more people than at any other time in history. Now let's look at the other path. This is Formula 2. Go deep. This is also called the magnitude lever. This formula is the complete opposite of the first one. The formula looks like this. You create a massive amount of value, but you deliver it to a very small number of people. Here, you are not trying to reach millions. You might only have 1 or 5 or 10 clients, but the value you provide to each one of those clients is enormous. It is life-changing. It is company-saving. The math here is also simple. A lot of value multiplied by a few people equals a lot of money. This is the path of deep, specialized skill. Think about a brain surgeon. A surgeon might only perform 100 operations in an entire year. That is not scale. But the value she provides in each operation is not small. It is not a 2-minute distraction. The value is life itself. The value is magnitude. The problem she solves is one of the biggest, most terrifying problems a family can face. Because the value is so deep, the pay is very high. Think about a high-level corporate lawyer. She might work for one company on one single case. Maybe that company is being sued for $1 billion. Her job is to win that case. She works for a year, and she wins. She just saved that company $1 billion. The magnitude of the value she created is massive. So if the company pays her a fee of $5 million, is that a lot? No. It is a bargain. She went deep. Think about the architect who is hired to design a one-of-a-kind $50 million museum. He will only build one museum. But the amount of trust, expertise, and unique vision required to do it is massive. The value is not in the number of buildings he designs. It is in the magnitude of that one building. This path, the Go Deep path, is about being the best. It is about being a specialist. It is about building a reputation of trust and skill so powerful that a few people will pay you a large amount of money to solve their very large problems. So there they are, the two formulas. Go wide or go deep. Neither one is better than the other. They are just different. A person who builds a $1 app can become just as wealthy as the high-stakes lawyer. They just took a different road to get there. Now you have a choice. You can stop thinking about just getting a job. You can start thinking like a value creator. And you can ask yourself, what kind of person am I? Am I a go-wide person with a great idea that can reach millions in a small way? Or am I a go-deep person with a passion for mastering a skill so completely that I can solve huge problems for a few people? You can choose your path. Now, we have a complete picture. We know our goal is happiness. We know our tool is money. And now we know the formulas for earning that tool. We have solved the earning half of the puzzle. But this is where most people get stuck. They get so good at earning, they forget about everything else. They become fantastic value creators, and they build a lot of wealth. But they are still not happy. Why? Because earning is only half of the picture. We have to learn the other half, the half that nobody ever talks about. We have to learn the art of using the money we earn. That is what we will talk about in the next chapter. Chapter 6. The other half of the picture. The art of using money. We have come a long way. We have our blueprint for a happy life, the 3 levels, and we have the formulas for earning the tool we need to build it, the go wide and go deep paths of creating value. Right here is where most books about success and money stop. They give you the map to the treasure. They teach you how to get the gold. And then they say, the end. But there is a huge, huge problem. We all know people who followed this map perfectly. They are doctors, they are lawyers, they are successful business owners. They mastered the art of earning. They have a lot of money in the bank, and they are miserable. They are stressed. They are empty. They are working 60 hours a week, and they still feel that cold 4 in the morning panic. How can this be? How can you win the game? How can you get the treasure and still feel like you lost? It is because we were only given half of the map. Earning money is only 50% of the equation. The other 50%, the part that nobody ever teaches us, is the art of using money. We are trained our whole lives to be expert earners, but we are left as complete amateurs when it comes to being expert users. We are brilliant at making money. We are terrible at spending it. This sounds strange. How can you be bad at spending money? It seems easy. You just buy stuff. But that is not what I mean. I am not talking about budgeting. I am not talking about spreadsheets or saving coupons. Being cheap or being a frugal person is not the goal. In fact, a person who is afraid to spend any money is also a slave to it. They are just a different kind of slave. I am talking about a skill. The skill of converting money, the tool, into happiness, the goal. We need a new way to measure this. We need a new metric. Let's call it HPD. This stands for happiness per dollar. This is the most important number in your financial life. When you are about to spend money, the question is not, can I afford this? The question is not, is this a good deal? The real question is, am I getting the maximum amount of happiness for each dollar I am about to convert? A $10 lunch, eaten alone at your desk while you answer emails, has a very low happiness per dollar. A $10 coffee, enjoyed for 1 hour while you sit and talk with your best friend, has an extremely high happiness per dollar. The cost was the same. The return was not. A $2,000 big screen television that you buy to impress your neighbors has a low happiness per dollar. The joy fades in about 1 week. A $2,000 vacation with your family, which creates memories you will talk about for 20 years, has an impossibly high happiness per dollar. The goal of a rich life is not to have the most money in the bank. The goal is to maximize your lifetime happiness per dollar. So how do we do this? How do we get better at this skill? Decades of research in psychology and economics have shown us the answer. There are clear strategies. First, buy experiences, not just things. This is the most famous strategy, and it is the most true. When you buy a thing, a new car, a new phone, a new watch, it gives you a hit of joy, but it fades fast. It is called hedonic adaptation. It is a fancy term for you just get used to it. That new car is exciting for 1 month. In month 2, it is just your car. But when you buy an experience, a trip, a concert, a class to learn a new skill, something different happens. The memory of that experience grows in value over time. You can look back on that trip for years, and the memory of it makes you happy all over again. Experiences build your life story. Things just build clutter. Second, buy back your time. This is the secret that happy, successful people understand. Time is the one thing you cannot make more of. It is the most valuable resource you have. Money is a renewable resource. Time is not. You must stop trading your time for small amounts of money. Here's an example. Let's say you hate more than anything mowing your lawn. It takes you 2 hours every Saturday. You dread it. It ruins your weekend. You can hire a local kid to do it for $40. Many people think, I am not going to pay $40 for something I can do myself. This is wrong thinking. This is amateur spending. Are you really doing it for free? No. You're paying for it with 2 hours of your one precious life. Are 2 hours of your freedom, your peace, your time with your family worth less than $40? A master spender sees this instantly. They use money as a tool to buy back those 2 hours. Now they can use those 2 hours for something with a high happiness per dollar. They can take their kids to the park. They can work on their new business idea. They can just sit and read a book. Use money to buy back your time. Pay for the cleaner. Pay for the delivery service. Pay for the tasks you hate. This is not lazy. This is strategic. Third, invest in yourself. This is the ultimate high HPD purchase. Use money to make yourself better. Buy the healthy food. Join the gym. This is buying you more energy, more confidence, and literally more time in the form of a longer, healthier life. Buy the book. Take the class. Sign up for the coaching. This is investing in your skills. This investment pays you back by making you better at creating value, Chapter 4, which means you earn more money, which means you can start the whole loop over again, but stronger. This is the art. We have to stop thinking that spending is a loss. When you go to a store, the money does not just disappear. It is not gone. It is converted. It is converted from paper value into life value. Spending is the whole point. It is the moment you cash in the value you created. It is the moment you take the hammer and you finally hit the nail. Earning is the act of collecting the tools. Using is the act of building the house. But there is a dark side to this. What happens if you get addicted to collecting the tools and you never build the house? What happens when you are so good at earning and so afraid of spending that you just sit in a warehouse full of hammers, all alone? This is a trap, and it is a tragedy. We are going to talk about that trap in the next chapter. Chapter 7. The Trap of the Paper Collector. We have to talk about a tragedy. It is a quiet tragedy. It does not make a lot of noise, but it is happening all around us. It is the story of a person who does everything we just talked about and still ends up with an empty life. It is the story of a person who masters earning. They listen to Chapter 4 and they create value. They listen to Chapter 5 and they go wide or go deep. They build a successful career. They build a successful business. They are smart. They are disciplined. They are hardworking. They have a lot of money in their bank account. And they are the most miserable people you know. I call this person the paper collector. This is the person who becomes addicted to the act of earning. They become obsessed with the tool. They spend their entire life collecting paper. They love the sound of the paper. They love the smell of the paper. They love counting the paper. Their whole identity gets wrapped up in how much paper they have. But they forgot one thing. They forgot what the paper was for. Let me tell you about the paper collector. This person works 60 or 70 hours a week. They tell their family, "I am doing this for us." They miss the school plays. They miss the family dinners. They miss the vacations. They tell themselves, "I will enjoy all of this later. Right now, I have to build." They are extremely frugal. This is a good habit at first. They save 10% of their income, then 20%, then 50%. They get a hit of dopamine, a small thrill, every time they save. It feels like winning. But then, something dangerous happens. The habit becomes an obsession. They have $1 million in the bank, but they are still fighting with their spouse about buying a $5 coffee. They have a new car-sized amount of money in their account, but they are driving a 20-year-old car that breaks down all the time because spending the money feels like a loss. They are no longer saving for something. They are just saving. The habit that built their wealth has now become their prison. They cannot turn it off. They have spent 40 years in save mode, and they do not know how to flip the switch to use mode, which we learned in Chapter 6. This is not just about habit. It is also about fear. The paper collector is haunted by fear. They have more money than they ever dreamed of, but they have never been more scared. They are terrified of losing it. They watch the news. They see the stock market go up and down. They are convinced that a disaster is right around the corner. This fear was useful when they had nothing. That fear is what made them work so hard in the first place. But now, that fear is a disease. It is a scarcity mindset that has survived even in the middle of total abundance. They have a fortress full of food, but they are starving themselves to death because they are afraid of what if. But the deepest part of the trap is not habit, and it is not fear. It is identity. This is the most dangerous part of all. The paper collector has slowly, over decades, merged their self-worth with their net worth. They are no longer John Smith, a good father, a kind friend, a person who loves to build things. They are John Smith, the man who has $2 million. That number is who they are. And what happens when your identity is a number in an account? Anytime you spend money, the number goes down. So if they spend $10,000 on a family vacation, they do not feel the joy of the vacation. They feel the pain of their number going down. They feel like they have lost a piece of themselves. They feel smaller. They feel weaker. They are not owning their money. The money is owning them. This, my friends, is the tragedy. This is a profound failure of purpose. Let's go back to our analogy of the hammer. The paper collector is the person who spent their entire life, 60 years, collecting tools. Their warehouse is full. They have the best hammers. They have the shiniest saws. They have mountains of perfect, beautiful wood. And they sit there, in the middle of the warehouse, on the cold concrete floor, counting their hammers. "Look at my tools," they say. "Am I not a success?" But they are cold. They are alone, and they are living in a warehouse. They never built the house. They forgot the entire point of collecting the tools. The tools were just supposed to be the means to an end. The goal was the house. The goal was the warm, safe, beautiful life, filled with love and experiences and purpose. The goal was happiness. This is not wealth. This is psychological poverty. This is bank account rich and life poor. We must avoid this trap. It is the final boss. It is the last illusion to break. The goal is not to die with the biggest number in your bank account. The goal is to live the biggest life you possibly can. The goal is to use the tools you collect to build the most beautiful house you can imagine. This trap is so subtle because it is built on a deep confusion. It is a confusion about what money is for. And very often, it is also a deep confusion about whether money and the desire for it is good or bad. This confusion is what makes us feel guilty when we earn it and guilty when we spend it. It is the last emotional knot we have to untangle. So, let's talk about it. Let's face that question head on. Is money good? Is money evil? It is time to settle that question once and for all. That is what we are going to do in the next chapter. Chapter 8. Money is not good or evil. We are now standing at the very center of the problem. We are at the root of the confusion, the anxiety, and the guilt that makes us behave so strangely around money. It is the reason the paper collector from the last chapter even exists. It is this: we, as a society, are deeply, fundamentally confused about whether money is a good thing or a bad thing. This confusion is a knot in our brains. It ties us up. On one hand, everything in our world tells us to get money. It is a symbol of success, of freedom, of security. We are told we need it, we should want it, and we should be proud of earning it. But on the other hand, we are given a very different message, often at the same time. We are told that money is the root of all evil, that it is filthy lucre. We are told that rich people are greedy, that wanting money is shallow, that good, spiritual, or kind people should be above money. So what happens? We are trapped. If we do not have money, we feel like a failure. We feel the stress and the panic of level 1 survival. But if we do pursue money, or if we get it, we feel a little bit guilty. We feel a little dirty. We wonder, am I becoming a bad person? Am I greedy? Am I one of them? This internal war is what creates the paper collector. He earns money, but he feels too guilty to use it. Spending it on himself, on a nice thing, feels selfish. It feels bad. So he just hoards it. He collects it, but he can never enjoy it, because he is paralyzed by this moral confusion. Today, we are going to cut that knot, once and for all. I am going to repeat what I said in Chapter 3, but we need to go deeper. Money is not good. Money is not bad. It is a neutral tool. But the best way to think about it is this: money is a neutral amplifier. That is it. That is the key to the entire puzzle. Money does not change you. Money reveals you. Money takes the person you already are deep down, and it just turns up the volume. It makes you more of what you already were. Let's look at this. If you are a good person, deep down, if you are kind, if you are generous, if you care about your family and your community, what happens if you suddenly get $1 million? Do you magically turn into a monster? Do you wake up the next day and decide to hurt people? No. Of course not. You know what you would do. You would breathe for the first time. You would pay off your parents' mortgage. You would help your best friend with their debt. You would give a big donation to the local animal shelter you have always cared about. The money did not corrupt you. The money allowed your kindness to be amplified. It allowed you to express your generosity on a massive scale. You were already a good person. The money just gave you a bigger megaphone for your goodness. Now let's look at the opposite. What about a person who is, at their core, selfish, insecure, angry, cruel? What happens when that person gets $1 million? Does the money magically heal them? Does it make them kind and peaceful? No. It amplifies their selfishness. It amplifies their insecurity. It gives them more power to be cruel. They use the money to build walls, to control people, to show off, and to try and fill a hole inside them that can never be filled with paper. The money did not make them bad. It just gave them a bigger stage to perform their badness. Money is a magnifying glass. It shows the world who you truly are. The fear that money will corrupt me is actually a fear that you are corruptible. But if you know deep down that you are a good person, you have nothing to fear from money. You should want it, because you know you will do good things with it. So the money itself is neutral. But this does not mean morality is not involved. It is. But we have been looking in the wrong place. The morality is not in the money. The morality is in two other places. 1. The morality is in how you get it. 2. The morality is in how you use it. Let's look at number 1. How did you get the money? Did you get it by creating value? Chapter 4. Did you solve a problem for people? Did you build a business that serves others? Did you master a skill, go deep, or reach millions, go wide? If you did, you earned it. You created value, and society paid you for it. That is a moral, positive, and good act. Or did you get it by extracting value? Did you lie? Did you cheat? Did you exploit people? Did you create a scam? Did you harm others to get it? If you did, that is an immoral act. The money itself is the same. It is just paper. But the method of earning is either moral or immoral. Now let's look at number 2. How do you use the money? Do you use it as a tool to build your 3 levels of happiness? Do you use it to secure your family's safety? Level 1. Do you use it to buy back your time and have beautiful experiences? Level 2. Do you use it to help others and make the world better? Level 3. If you do, that is a moral use of the tool. Or do you use it to harm? Do you use it to control people? To feed an addiction? To hoard it in a dark room while your family suffers? The paper collector trap. That is an immoral use of the tool. This is what sets us free. You do not have to be afraid of money. You just have to be an honest, good person. It is not noble to be poor if you have the ability to create value. It is not spiritual to reject a tool that could build a safe life for your children. I am giving you permission. It is okay to want to earn more, as long as what you really mean is, I want to create more value for the world, and it is okay to enjoy that money. It is okay to spend it. As long as what you really mean is, I want to convert this paper I earned into a beautiful, meaningful life of happiness and purpose. True wealth is not just having money. True wealth is living in alignment. It is earning ethically and spending consciously. Now we have all the pieces. We have the goal, happiness. We have the tool, money. We have the method for earning, value. We have the method for using, HPD. And we have the moral permission. We have all the why and the what. There is only one thing left to do. We need to create a simple plan. We need to do a personal checkup. It is time to stop talking and start doing. In our next chapter, we are going to do exactly that. Chapter 9. The Personal Audit. Where are you on the journey? For the last 8 chapters, we have been on a serious journey. We have been in the classroom. We have been tearing down old, broken ideas about money, work, and happiness. We have been building a new, better foundation. We have our blueprint, the 3 levels of happiness. We understand our tool. Money is a neutral amplifier. We have our strategy for earning. Create value. We have our strategy for spending. Maximize happiness per dollar. We have done the why. But all of that is just theory. It is just talk. And talk does not build a house. This chapter is different. This chapter is not a lecture. It is a workshop. This is the moment you stop being a passive listener and you start being an active architect of your own life. This is the moment we make it real. We are going to do a true wealth audit. I am going to ask you a series of questions. They are simple questions, but they are not easy. The only rule is 100% honesty. You are not doing this for me. You are not doing this for anyone else. You are doing this for you. No one is watching. No one is grading you. This is just for you. So, let's begin. Part 1. Audit your why. Let's look at the blueprint. We have to stop being vague and start being specific. First, level 1, your survival. I want you to find out your survival number. How much money does it take every single month for your family to survive? I am talking about the bare essentials, your rent or mortgage, your utilities, your food, your basic transportation, your insurance. I am not talking about vacations. I am not talking about streaming services or restaurant dinners. I am talking about the base level number that lets you sleep at night, knowing you are safe. Do you know this number? If you do not, you are driving in the dark. You must find this number. Is it $3,000 a month? Is it $5,000 a month? This number is your first, most important financial goal. This is your freedom from fear number. Second, level 2, yourself. What does this actually look like for you? Be specific. I want to be rich is not an answer. I want to be happy is not an answer. What experiences do you truly want? Write them down. Do you want to take your kids to the Grand Canyon? Do you want to learn to play the guitar? Do you want to take a class on cooking? What does freedom mean to you? Does it mean working only 4 days a week? Does it mean being able to quit a job you hate and have 6 months of savings in the bank? Does it mean buying back your time by hiring someone to clean your house? You have to define what you are fighting for. You cannot hit a target that you cannot see. Part 2. Audit your earning. Now let's look at how you are gathering your tools. Be brutally honest. Look at your main source of income right now. Are you being paid for your time? Or are you being paid for the value you create? Are you just punching a clock? Are you just a name on a spreadsheet? Or are you a problem solver? Here is the tough question. If you were gone from your job tomorrow, would the company miss the problems you solve? Or could they just find another person to fill the time slot? Your answer to that question will tell you everything about your financial future. This week, what is one thing you can do to start shifting from being a time seller to a value creator? What is the biggest problem your boss or your company has that you can offer to help solve? And which path are you on? The go wide formula or the go deep formula? Are you trying to reach millions of people with a $1 idea? Or are you trying to become so good at one skill that you can charge a high fee to a few people? You have to pick a direction. Part 3. Audit your using. This is the one that might sting a little, but it is the most important audit of all. We have to see if you are using your tools or just hoarding them. First, let's do a happiness per dollar check. I want you to pull up your last bank statement or credit card statement. Look at the last 10 purchases you made that were not level 1 survival needs. Look at each one. That $50 dinner, that new shirt, that online subscription. Now give each one a rating from 1 to 10 on happiness per dollar. How much real, lasting joy did you get from that conversion? Be honest. That $200 pair of shoes? Was that a 9 out of 10? Or was it a 3 out of 10 that you felt guilty about 1 hour later? That $15 lunch you ate at your desk while you were stressed? That was probably a 1 out of 10. You are not doing this to feel guilty. You are doing this to find the leaks. You are finding where you are trading your hard-earned value for low-level happiness. You are finding the waste. Second, the big one. Are you a paper collector? Be honest. Look at your savings account. It might be a beautiful number, but are you afraid to use it? Are you still fighting with your partner over $5 purchases, even though you have $100,000 in the bank? Are you putting off that dream vacation, again, even though you can absolutely afford it, because you are terrified of seeing your big number go down? Is your save mode permanently stuck in the on position? Are you living in a warehouse full of tools, but you are cold and you have not even started building your house? This is not a test. You cannot fail this audit. This is a diagnostic. This is a map. This is a "you are here" sign. The point of this is not to feel bad. The point of this is to see, for the very first time, what is really going on. You now have a clear picture. You know your target, your specific 3 levels. You know your strategy, go wide or go deep. And you know where you are leaking power, your low HPD spending, and your paper collector fears. This is deep work, but now you have the right questions. And the truth is, once you start asking the right questions, the answers will finally start to show up. We have all the pieces. Now it is time to put them together. It is time to create a system that runs automatically. In our final chapter, we are going to build that system. We are going to create the true wealth loop. Chapter 10. Redesigning your life. Integrating money and happiness. We have been on a long journey together. We started in the dark at 4 a.m, with that cold feeling of panic in our stomachs. We were trapped on a wheel, running as fast as we could, but not getting anywhere. We were living a script that someone else had written for us. So we stopped. We hit the pause button. We asked the forgotten question, why? We tore everything down to the foundation. We threw out the old, broken ideas. We learned that time equals money is a trap. We learned that money is not good or evil, but just a neutral amplifier. We learned that earning is not about effort, but about value. We learned that being rich in the bank, but poor in life is a tragedy. We learned about the paper collector who hoards his tools but never builds his house. We have gathered all the pieces. We have the blueprint. We have the tools. We understand the mission. Now, in this final chapter, we are going to put it all together. We are going to throw away the old, broken script for good, and we are going to replace it with a new system. The old system was a straight line. It was a race. School, job, work, 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 retire, die. It was a line that made us slaves. Our new system is not a line. It is a loop. It is a circle. It is a powerful, self-sustaining engine. I call it the true wealth loop. It is a simple 4-step process, but it is a process you run for the rest of your life. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a live, a rich life now system. Here is how it works. Step 1. Define your happiness. This is our why. This is where everything starts. This is your blueprint. You take the time to do the work from Chapter 9. You get specific. You define in clear, bright detail what your 3 levels of happiness look like for you. What is your level 1 survival number? What specific level 2 experiences and freedoms do you crave? What is your level 3 purpose? This is your target. This is your North Star. You must look at it every single day. This is what you are building. This is your house. Step 2. Create value. This is our how. Once you know what you are building, you know which tools you need. You stop thinking about just a job, and you start thinking about creating value. You pick your path. Are you going wide or going deep? You focus on solving problems. You stop selling your time and you start selling solutions. This is the engine of your loop. Step 3. Receive money. This is the natural, logical result of Step 2. When you create value, society sends you a thank you note. That thank you note is called money. Because you have done the work of Chapter 8, you receive this tool without guilt. You are not a greedy person. You are a valuable person. You have earned this tool ethically and morally. You have not extracted. You have created. You accept this payment as a fair exchange for the problems you have solved. Step 4. Use money. This is the final, crucial step. Using the tool. You consciously convert the money from Step 3 back into the life you defined in Step 1. You secure your Level 1 safety. You strategically invest in your Level 2 experiences, freedom, and growth. And here is the magic that makes it a loop. Investing in yourself, your skills, your health, makes you better at Step 2. You return to the loop able to create even more value, which starts the entire cycle again, only stronger. Consciously convert that paper value back into life value. You look at your blueprint from Step 1. You use the money to make your Level 1 survival solid as a rock. You pay your bills not with stress, but with purpose. Then, you use the money to strategically buy your Level 2 happiness. You buy the experience. You book the trip. You buy back your time. You hire the cleaning service. You invest in yourself. You sign up for the guitar lessons. And here's the beautiful part. The magic that makes it a loop. When you use your money correctly, especially on Level 2 growth, like learning that new skill, or Level 3 purpose, like helping others, you change. You become more skilled, more connected, more energized. And what happens when you are more skilled and energized? You show up back at Step 2, create value, as a stronger, more capable person. You can now solve bigger problems. Because you create more value, you receive more money, Step 3. And because you receive more money, you have more tools to build an even more beautiful life, Step 4. This is the true wealth loop. It is an active, living system. It is how you stop chasing money and start building a life. The old script is dead. The one that told you to work for 40 years and then be happy. That is a bad deal. The new script, this loop, is about creating value and building happiness today, and tomorrow, and the day after. So this is your call to action. Do not just listen to this. Do not just nod your head. Start, pick one thing. Ask the forgotten question. Audit your last 10 purchases. Define your Level 1 number. Throw away the old map. The journey is not about dying with the most paper. The journey is about living the richest life. You are the architect. The blueprint is in your hand. The tools are waiting. Go build your house.